Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're here at Kimbolton, Hunt's Kart Racing Club, because today we're going to be testing the KZ again. This is the first proper video since the first time we went out. We've been out at Forest Edge again before this and Rye House. So we've learnt a lot more in the KZ since our first video. And yeah, today we're here without any other mechanics, just me and my dad. So today we've got, I think, around 4 or 5 sessions. It's my first time at the track, first time driving the track ever. I've just been on a track walk. It's a big long track. Probably get what, 90 miles per hour, 92, 93 maybe, down that straight. We've got about 3 main straights that are very long around. We've got the first main start finish straight, which is probably the longest, and then we've got another long straight where we missed the chicane, which a normal road tax class would do. Then we also have another straight, so it's quite a big track. It's quite an open track. There's not very many barriers, which is sort of a good thing because it's just runoff. As you can see now, a bit there. Here's down here is the main straight, and there is where we were originally set up. Just up here to show you more of the track. So we come down this main straight here, and then it's a tight sort of a right-hander into a left-hander, which is quite a long straight leading up. And normally road taxis would take that second chicane there. However, we go straight through, and that leads us up to a tight hairpin, which then leads us down onto that long straight there, into a left-hander, and then onto the right-hander, which leads us down onto a long straight, which looks quite short from here, but is actually very long. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. Not too long now until we'll be out, around an hour till we're out, so I think next we'll have to get ready. Okay, so now onto the dummy grid now, with just only 5 drivers, with my dad as the mechanic pushing me to start the engine. Obviously on these direct drive KZ gearbox carts, the only thing that starts them up is being pushed, so you can either push it yourself and jump in, or you can get your mechanic to. So he's just rolling me back now, as we're going to try a semi-standing start, and yeah, we've stalled it already, which is a bit embarrassing considering we've got British champs in around 3 weeks time, and we need to perfect the starts for them. We get it started again, and that was sort of a mini start, which was a bit better than our original attempt. But now we're just waiting for the flag to go. So in front of us, on the right side, in front of us is Richard Palmer, and in front of him is Hannah Lamb, 2 very fast drivers. On the left side is the father and son, Jake and Jason Baker. Jake Baker, the one behind Jason, both also very fast in the KZ class, and they just moved up from the senior road tax class, similar to me, and they've done it a bit longer than me, and this is my first time at the track. Anyway, the green flag's been let us go out, and now we're onto the track. So we're doing now our first lap ever, and obviously you're going to be on board with me for this whole experience. So we're all sort of we're not going full beans, of course, and however we've got Jason in the 36, I believe, already spinning it, which is quite easy when you're on cold tyres in these KZ karts due to the amount of pure power they have. But now we've completed our outlap, and everyone, obviously we just got to let these engines warm up properly before fully pushing it, of course, because they are very fragile engines and could seize at any moment. Obviously we would not want that, so it's important to make sure it gets to a right temperature before running it fast, and obviously don't let it get too hot, which is why we've got the rad flap. As you can see, just below us on where this GoPro is mounted is the radiator, and there is a flap on that which can allow the amount of air that goes into the radiator. Anyway, leading on to our second lap, our first proper lap completed. We've got Richard Palmer going down the inside of Jake Baker in front of us. So now we're going to be on the pursuit for Jake Baker, because although he's very fast in KZ, he's a bit less experienced to Richard Palmer, and having just a bit more experience than me, moving up only a couple months earlier than me, he sort of has an advantage on that, and he's also been here quite a lot. He's completed a KZ race here as well, and I have not even done a race yet, so yeah. We are getting close to him though, but the half part is about passing him. It's easy to catch up, but then to pass him in a KZ is quite difficult. So we're just running up behind him, seeing where we could potentially get past, trying to go for an earlier cut back out of turn 1, but it won't work, of course. Now just behind him, we're getting in the toe quite a lot. We're braking too early there, however that's okay. Skipping on a bit, now we're coming down the main straight, probably about 4 or 5 minutes later, and we're behind him in the toe. We're going to pull out, we're going to go down the inside, and I just miss a gear for a bit. I go up too much and there's a slight bog and he gets back in front. Also, apologies about the red dot. As you can see, that's a piece of a fly's blood. Can't really control that, so you'll have to make do with that for the rest of this session. Not that there will be much left of this session, as we have sort of what I thought was an issue, as Jake actually goes around in front of us. I believed at first that there was an issue due to having a puncture at Forest Edge with the same wheels. I thought that the pulling of over to the right that I was experiencing was the puncture. However, it was not. It was my stupid mistake. I know that now, but obviously then I thought it was just like an issue with the car and did not want to risk that. Alright, so we did just complete the first session. It went alright, you know, the first time we were out here, and we were fighting with one driver, and I think we could have definitely got past him if we pushed a bit harder, but we did encounter a slight issue when hitting an animal. I don't know what it was, if it was an animal, but now there's all blood splattered over my front bumper, as you can see. But yeah, we had to pit in early because we felt something wrong with the steering wheel. It felt like it was trying to pull to the right. I feel like we might have sorted the issue now with the airbox sort of flapping around on the straight, which may have caused it to just want to lead on to the right as it was sucking in air and everything. So we did pit early, but we finished 6 minutes of the session, so it was all good. The side of my seat, as it is getting tighter. It is quite painful, but there seems to be no marks after that session, which is a good thing, because last session we did have some, but obviously that's the first session today at Kimbolton. My thoughts, honestly, it's an amazing track. It's quite a quick lap, you know, 34 seconds, but very fast. We're coming around the first corner, and then we just got this long straight up into another long straight, and then we go around another corner, and then we got another long straight. So it's sort of build up of straights, just with a bit of extra, more interesting parts built in. It sort of gives me the, it sort of reminds me of Paul Ricard, and I'm just staring at the track right now. Yeah, so currently we've got the cadets out, but yeah, it sort of gives me that Paul Ricard sort of vibe to it. Although the track's not all different colours, the sort of layout is very similar, especially with the extra parts and the extra layouts that different people could use. So we're going to get into session 2 now after sorting out the issue, so let's get into it. Okay, so into the second session now, going out, getting ready to go out, put my gloves on, and Dad's going to push start me again, and this time hopefully we'll install it. So we're going to go straight out, actually. We're going to skip, and we're going to pass the Dacre father and son and go out third behind Richard Palmer in the 17, I believe. I forgot the number, to be honest. But we're going to run in, of course, we've got to run in the engine before going full pelt, so we're all going to be quite congested in the train of only five on the grid. Of course, it's a quite quiet test day. Getting ready for the K-plate though, this weekend. Yeah, we're going to be running in, and as you can see, we're quite close to both Hannah Lang and Richard Palmer. And as you can see, they're side by side down the straight, and Richard is actually going to go down the inside of Hannah, and of course this is still just the first proper lap whilst we're still running in. So we are actually right behind Hannah now, and there's that temptation to just try and pass her, but she's too fast anyway, so we're going to skip on now. And I had that same issue with the grip, and as you can see, as much as I didn't know really, so I pulled to the side and I sort of just wanted to check everything was in one piece, and it was at this point down the straight I just realised in my big brain that potentially this could just be because of the amount of grip that these karts have around this track. And it turned out it was that, as I talked to a couple of the drivers and I talked to my mate Daniel after the race about the amount of grip we had in the KZ, and that was the issue. So we had a couple issues with the grip again, as you can see, starting off there, and then we're going to repeat that, the exact same lap, the exact next lap I should say. However, the next lap we do get back used to it again, which was a good thing. Now I've realised that it wasn't a puncture, it wasn't any sort of failure on the kart, it was actually just the sheer amount of grip. There was so much grip that even when we picked up the kart, it was hard because it was sticking to the ground when we came into the pits. So we've caught up quite well in this session, to be honest, onto the back of that 96 kart, and we are right now caught up quite a lot since we did go off a couple of times, as you saw, and I did obviously slow down to check for any issues. So we've caught up now and there's barely anything left of the session. It's quite just a simple session. As you can see, he's only around 4 or 5 kart lengths in front now. So the main task is to maybe try and get a late overtake before the ending of the session. So just running up now behind him. We can see we're faster through this section here. However, I should come out and stay more in the middle, but I did set myself up, which did not really work, as that led for him to get further away. However, I believe that is the end of this session, so we didn't manage to pass him, but we managed to gain a massive amount of time, which was quite good, especially since this is our second session out, and the second session out at Kimbolton, I should say. But yeah, compared to these lot that have been racing here for many years, I've never even been here in a road tax. The only time I've been was about a month ago when I had to sell my Tony kart to someone at the track and had to drop it off, and I got to watch my KZ. But yeah, so our second session now complete now. I believe it's second. Now on lunch break, I think. But yeah, overall it was a very good good session. Again, we seem to be getting whatever this red stuff is, insects over the front end, but overall, yeah, it was a very good session. We got decent lap times. In at first we struggled adapting to the new grip changes on these KZ tyres. Obviously never been to this track before, and never really had this amount of grip on the KZ before yet, so at first it felt like I had a puncture, because it felt similar to how I felt at Forest Edge with a puncture. So luckily it's not puncture, it was just me tripping, because there's nothing wrong with the kart. So yeah, that's a good thing. So now, and then in the end of the session I started to realise, yeah, this is just the grip. So we run a lot better then, and yeah, overall very positive session. So yeah, it was quite good. Alright, so we're now into our third session, and we're going to skip ahead. There's no point showing you starting, so we're going to go straight out of the pit lane, and we've overtaken no, we have not overtaken the other two, my bad. Me and Richard Palmer just waiting behind for a couple seconds, and as you can see the other 3 are in front of us. So I'm going to fast forward, just as there's no point showing you the warm up, and now as you can see we've caught up to the rest of the pack. I mean, Hannah Lang, she's gone, but the other two, the Baker brothers with the number 96 and 36, they're quite close behind. And then you can see Richard Palmer going down the inside of both of them in that lap. And now skipping forward, I'm going to go down the inside. I'm going to think about going down the inside actually, but I'm not going to make it stick. I'm going to wait behind Jake Baker for another couple laps and probably try and make a move quite soon. So there, it's just thinking about whether making a move is wise or not, especially on a test day. Is there any point smashing up the kart with 3 weeks to go until British? There's just no point sending it. So we're going to look down the inside here. We've got a nice exit. We're going to send it down the inside of the 96 and we're going to get the move done quite nicely. And next we've got to go for his father. So following down now, and it's sort of just about maintaining a nice gap to Jake behind us and in front, Jason in front of us. So I'm going to skip on a couple more laps and now I'm right on the tail of that 36 car, and it's just about getting past, as he's quite experienced, he's quite a fast driver. It's just about the tough part of getting past him as well. Unfortunately though, that ended quite shortly as he ended up pitting, so I pitted in the next lap as the sessions were actually finished anyway. So we just pitted in that lap, and really that session was just a bit of fighting and not much really happened. It was more just, you know, more driving time. So that's really it for that session. So yeah. So we not long just finished session 3, was it? I'm starting to lose count. We not long just finished session 3 and it was alright. The plan was to sort of try and drive smoother, but it ended up being just trying to fight for positions in a practice session. But yeah, it was good. We set the same amount of lap times. We did change the setup and it didn't seem to change a thing about lap times. Slightly bit slower on the straight by like a mile per hour, so yeah, it's all right. I think next session we'll have to switch it up and start trying to drive more and feel the kart more and not let it slide out as much, be more smooth on the wheel. Although there's a lot of grip out there, however it is starting to sort of rain. I mean, I wouldn't say rain, but it looks like it could rain very soon, which is quite worrying because I've never been in the rain before in a KZ. Never done anything with gearboxes in the wet apart from a Citroen Saxo, so let's hope it don't rain. Let's get into session 4 now, and yeah, let's go. Right, so this session was actually very interesting. As you can see behind us, we've got the 4 drivers behind us and we'll be going out first for this session. I don't know why, but they all wanted to go out at the back for no reason. So I thought this would be a good time to try and practice start. And as you can see, revs rising. Obviously we're not going to get out of first gear, it's just to really feel the bite of the clutch. And as you can see now, the marshals, thank you to the orange army, letting us out of the pit lane, and I will be first out. And as you can see, just warming up the tyres by weaving. Skipping on around 4 or 5 minutes now, we've actually still held the lead, which is quite nice because we've driven quite well up until this point. We've managed to maintain a decent gap to Hannah and Richard, so it's quite a good session. Coming into here though, we brake slightly bit too early, we slide out a bit. Although these tyres are very old, we now do have the Hannah Lang on the Formula K kart right behind us, and I'm expecting her to make a move quite soon, as she is very close now, and we're going to hang on for another lap hopefully. We're just keeping pushing. Now there is some mistakes I'm making as watching this right now, but yeah, so coming into this corner again, just coming in very fast, although that's a good thing. That sliding out there that you see, that oversteer, has now led for the pink helmet Formula K kart to be right on my rear bumper, and coming into the final corner she's just going to send it down the inside. Quite a nice move, textbook overtake, but is going to take the lead of this practice session. And now I've got Richard Palmer right behind me as well, which was quite intimidating considering these two are quite fast British champs drivers, and I will be up against 20 of them in 3 weeks time. But as you can see, he's right on my rear bumper now. I just don't see him. He gives me a little tap, and yeah, I do kind of get a bit scared from that and brake a bit earlier than I should have done. And as you're going to see, they're going to drive off into the sunset away from me, because although this isn't really much of a problem, as my tyres are, you know, they've done around 3 days of testing, and they were second hand when I originally got them. But that was really it for that session. There wasn't really much more to do. Just continue driving around for the next couple laps. But yeah, going back onto the tyres, they were quite very old. You know, they've done probably five different events, and KZ tyres, they don't last long. They're not like a hard compound tyre, so I think it was actually right considering the amount of oversteer we had into some corners. Obviously there is a lot about SERP as well, as the kart, yeah, like I said, was oversteering a lot. That could be part tyres, that could be part setup potentially, as we've not fully found the perfect setup for Kimbolton, as well as obviously me, of course. As you can see, I'm turning in way too early into this section here, although I did find I couldn't really do anything else just from the grip that I did not have, and I could not find any grip from these tyres. But checker flag was out, and that was the end of that session. So really, I think there's not much more to say, and we're going to get into our final session after pulling into the pits. Right, so we just finished our fifth session I believe, and it went quite decent. You know, we went out first. For some reason everyone wanted to go behind me. We held pace for quite a long time, and then we got overtaken by a couple of the British champs up front runners, and then we sort of maintained the gap. Obviously they dropped away quite quickly, I'd say. I mean, you know, they pulled a lengthy gap in the session, although that was in a 12-minute session. So yeah, the other two though, we did manage to keep away from them and pull actually from them. I think we still set the same time of a 37.00, so bang on dot 37 again. So yeah, it's going all right. Obviously the tyres are very old now. I reckon we could definitely go, you know, 4-5 tenths quicker with new tyres, maybe even more, which would put us right up there, which is a very good sign. We've only got one more session left, so I don't think there's anything else for me to say apart from let's get into it. Okay, so final session now. I don't have the 360 mode GoPro on, I've just got the standard edition Hero mode on. But we're going to head straight out the pit lane, and well, this session we're aiming just to go a bit faster, try and get a couple tenths faster by doing some improvements. As you can see, just weaving the tyres to sort of try and warm up the actual tyres themselves. And yeah, so the two in front I'm just going to let go. Of course I was doing that anyway, but we're going to skip on a bit into later in the session, as not much really happens in this session apart from trying to set good lap times, which probably is quite boring for you if you want to watch just about 13 minutes of me going around in circles. So, and coming into here, that was quite a nice corner, and then you want to upshift and then downshift twice into it. Now the problem we were having, of course, like I just said about the tyres, they are going off quite badly now, and they're sliding a lot. Maybe that is the issue. Maybe you don't have the right axle in, but as you can see, look how much oversteer I'm having, which was making it quite difficult for us, as I couldn't really turn in as aggressively as I wanted to, and I couldn't really turn in where I wanted to, especially into that first couple corners. But we were able to get quite going, and we were able to get quite good pace, you know, taking a bit of a curve there. We're learning the track better now. Now we've been behind those two a bit, we've learnt now to sort of come out now on the straight, as you can see, and then coming back in again. As much as that sounds quite weird, that was a lot faster, and as you're about to see in a bit. So I think really this session was much better. The lines were a lot better as well. We braked right up here, down 3 gears to really help rotate the car. But as you can see, just sliding again, can't really avoid that right now. But yeah, really, that was quite a good line, and through there, if I do say so myself. I think into that corner, I should be more into the middle or on the right side, and then using the gears to rotate the car better. That is what it is. Anyway, that is the end of this session, and that is also the end of this video. There's not much more to say. Luckily, we've done very well in that last session. We went 4 tenths quicker. We've done a 36.6, which was very good time, and a very good session overall. So overall, I think that was the best session. We managed to set decent lap times. We made a couple mistakes, but yeah, we're definitely getting faster. So in the next videos, I'm not really sure what we're going to be doing. There's a lot of things upcoming. Of course, British in 3 weeks' time, which is the biggest thing. But that's it for today's video. So thanks for watching. Goodbye.